Who is the shortest basketball player in the world?
I like your curiosity. I'll tell you. Muggsy Bogues is the shortest player in the National Basketball Association history, listed at 5 feet 3 inches tall. He was drafted 12th overall by the Washington Bullets in 1987.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I'm glad you asked.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Which club is the first to win Champions League?
That's very easy. Real Madrid. The first Champions League was won by Real Madrid during the 1955 and 1956 season.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
From the greens of golf to the court of tennis and basketball, the octagon of UFC to the square root for boxing, track of Formula One, and the pitch of football. Join the sports crew on Sport Hall 6 to 7 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, Fridays 5 to 6 p.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturdays. Here on iMpact Radio 102.1 FM, Lagos. Reviews, views, and interviews just the way you like it. Exclusive on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM, Lagos. Sport Hub for all the updates and analysis.
This is Sports Hub on High Impact 102.1 FM. For the best in sports entertainment, tune in to Sports Hub on High Impact 102.1 FM.
Oh, what a feeling. Look what we've overcome. Oh, I'm gonna wave my flag and count all the reasons we are the champions. There ain't no turning back. Saying, oh, can't you taste the feeling? Saying, oh, we all together singing. Look how far we come now. There's beauty in the unity we found. I'm ready. We still got a long way, but look how far we
Sports Talk Show is live on your radio. Music edition of the show today, 28th in the month of January 2026. The penultimate edition for this amazing month of January. Because don't forget, we'll be back here on Friday between 5 p.m. down to 6 p.m. Honestly. I almost lost the track of time. Between 5 p.m. down to 6 p.m. on Friday, and that's going to be the last edition of the show for this amazing month. Sports Up Show. We are here to preach the gospel sport to you for the next 50 minutes. Talk about all of the in-swingers, all of the lancer passes, all of the slams, and the dunks as well. Taking you through the nitty-gritty of all of the major stories in the world of sports. In tennis, this evening, a lot has happened in the last couple of days. But then we've seen a couple of mighty guys who's made it to the semifinals, a couple of records that they're setting for themselves, and a bit of matchups that we've been looking forward to. We talk about likes of Yannick Sinner once again up against Novak Djokovic, and then Carlos Alcaraz will be meeting up with Alexander Zverev. While in the women's, we'll be seeing the likes of Elena Svitolina up against Aryna Sabalenka, and other matchups to look forward to. In the world of football, final match day in the UEFA Champions League phase. 18 matches will be happening simultaneously this evening, and it's going to be a battle to finish for some teams. Teams like Manchester City want to cement their place in the automatic spot. If they're unable to do it this evening against Galatasaray, then it means they will be settling for a playoff spot. Napoli and Chelsea will also be making that amazing battle right there at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium right there in Italy. So much to talk about, so much to look into, as well as on the home front, a couple of matches in the Match Week 23 happening right here in the Nigerian Premier Football League. All of this and many more we'll be taking a look at in the course of the show. Ayodeji Ajiboye is my name. Absolute honor to be your host on the show this evening. A such reminder that I was streaming live on our Facebook fan page at Impact Radio 102.1 FM. You can also join us on our YouTube channel at Impact 102.1 FM. And to the switch of the back of the net, we'll be getting the show on the road. Just so you know, my bird is never flying with one wings. I've got my man who is from the Games Village. We together will be manning down my defense line. No incursion in my house this evening. Welcome to the show, Warid.
Yes, good evening to all our listeners. Good evening, Ayodeji. Like you mentioned at the start of the show, we are wrapping up the month of January.
Yeah.
By this time next week or
Next
3
week,
days
yeah.
times, we'll be saying Happy New Month.
Yep.
And when did we say Happy New Year? That's the most surprise. As
We are reflecting already.
Time is past. Before you say Jacob is in, already in the month of February.
February, yeah.
And that is it for you.
But then I think that the most important thing is that no matter what is happening, always have the mindset that you can finish strong. Always have that mindset. Always tell yourself that you're a winner.
Yes, nobody who first call police the weakest. Now that's the thing. So it doesn't depend on how you start. It depends on how you finish.
How you finish.
Yeah.
Most importantly, it doesn't matter how you started, but what matters most is how you end the particular race right there. Going straight into thoughts coming through on the show this evening, we start with thoughts coming through from the world of football, and of course on the home front, the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It's been said that finally there's going to be a pre-WAFCON tournament, a pre-WAFCON competition, a test game for these ladies, because the last break that female football had, there was nothing for the Super Falcons, and this brought about a lot of questions from football enthusiasts, especially those that have interest in the female football. Like, look here, what is happening? These ladies are going to be defending the WAFCON in just a couple of months. By the way, the WAFCON is going to be staged in the month of March. So look, here we are not even prepping, and then the National Sport Commission and the NFF has come out to say, okay, there's going to be a pre-tournament that will be happening right there in Ivory Coast, which will include the 4 nations that have made it through from WAFU, that's talking about the West African Football Union. Super Falcons finally are getting a test match before going for that 11th continental crown.
Yes, this is the situation we find ourselves currently. And it boils down to the people running our football, talking about Ibrahim Kusu. And there's also a technical director called
Austin Ogbon. You say that there's also
because I don't know what he has done since he has been appointed in 2020 as technical director.
Wow, that's a big call. You don't know what he has done.
Because yes, look at the age grade teams. What important thing have they done? Because before Amadou Pinnick, we are like the kings when it comes to the other 17.
Yeah, age grade football.
We are the kings. Now we are struggling to even qualify for the major tournament. For the Super Falcons, who we focus at, because they won the last WAFCON right there in Morocco. But the belief that we have is that okay, we can do anyhow, and
we'll still get away with it.
Yes.
No be WAFCON again.
And other teams are catching up with us. With
true,
this kind of mentality.
True that.
Because at some point, if you remember, South Africa we know at our level, but all of a sudden we are even struggling to beat this South African. That's talking about the Bayana squad. And even Morocco have even stepped up their game. They are considered one of the big girls when it comes to the
female football in Africa.
See, the reality is that if you don't give these girls competition, because I saw the likes of the captain talking about Rashida Tajibade completely during that period, during the last international break without a game. And it just shows that we don't know what we are doing. People that are running our football are not supposed to run our football. But hopefully, the pre-match tournament games because let us forget that this next WAFCON that is coming up is a qualifier for the World Cup
in 2027
Brazil. And if we fail to get to the semi-final, we are not going to go to the World Cup. Because for Super Falcons to be missing the World Cup, we already had the Super Eagles missing the World Cup. We don't want a situation where
there's still a bit of your talks about the Super Eagles, maybe or maybe not. I don't want to be a part of that, honestly, because I want to limit my expectations.
The current situation we are is that we are not going to the World Cup until FIFA and CAF bring that verdict that
this is what is happening.
But the reality now is that we are not going to the World Cup. And I don't want a situation where our 2 national teams, that are the senior team,
that's the Falcons and the Super Eagles,
World Cup.
The same year.
It's going to be a big disappointment. I know that we are going to find a way out of the group stage because I've seen the group.
They are alongside Zambia, Egypt, and also Malawi.
Okay, Malawi.
That's in Group C.
So I think we'll be able to find our way out of the group stage. Now it's left when we get to the knockout stage, when you begin to face the bigger teams. That is where I have an issue, because teams are not relating. They are preparing themselves, trying to develop their women football. And if you remain stagnant, other teams will be able to catch you. Teams that are developing. See, Morocco did not just get to where they are.
It took them time.
It took their time.
They
have properly planned their football, not just football, other sports. And I think that now that mentality of okay, we have the talent, we have people flying their children abroad.
We should dead it.
We should dead. We have to face the reality. We get to a point that we'll begin to struggle against even the smaller teams.
Okay, hopefully the Super Falcons are not going to struggle, just like Warith had mentioned. This particular WAFCON 2026 is going to be a qualifiers for the Women's World Cup that will be staged in 2027 Women's World Cup. The Super Falcons will be heading into this year's WAFCON as the most successful side in history because they've lifted the trophy for a record 10 times. Nice. Amazing record that I'm not sure that maybe in this particular century that we are in, any other nation will be matching that record anytime soon.
They are the most decorated team, both male and female, when it comes to the continent of Africa. Maybe we are going to accomplish mission XI. So hopefully we'll get the level title because we will still support our country. And no matter the situation we are,
most definitely.
So we have to give them our full support going into the WAFCON right there in Morocco.
Still talking female football on the show right this evening. Let's talk about the Falconets as well. Will also be having to make do with their counterparts from Cote d'Ivoire right there in Ibadan. They've got a pre-tournament match that they are also going to be playing right there in Ibadan. Big game to look forward to. The Falconets up against the Senegalese Lioness for the qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. A very crucial one, by the way.
But Senegal are not on our level. We are not on the same level. That's the reality.
Okay.
When we are looking at competitive wise, we had, especially from West Africa, those are where the likes of Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana come into the mix. Those are the competitive guys. But the Senegalese, they are planning also. They are trying to develop their women football, but they are not yet at that stage to compete with Falconets. Talking about the Falconets and the Falcons, those are the age grade from the under 17 to the senior team. I have
big confidence that they will make it through.
No matter
they might just get to the tournament and not perform. Because I remember the last time these Falconets made it to the semi-finals was 14 years ago in Japan. And since then, is it that they are going to knock out in the group stage, or they even manage to get to the round of 16?
That's the thing. When they get to especially at the global world, because that's where we struggle a lot. But when it comes to the continent of Africa, especially with age grade football, even with the senior team, I don't think we struggle with that.
Well, the 12th edition of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup will be staged in Poland, and that's going to be from September 5 to September 27, 2026. But my point of concern really is that I'm not against the Falconets going to play this game in Ibadan. I mean, we've also seen the Super Falcons go to play their games in Ibadan as well. But the state of that pitch in Ibadan is my my concern right now. Shooting Stars are playing there. Vremo Stars are going to be playing there, and I'm sure that there are other teams that will be using that pitch we want to turn all of the stadiums in the country to go to a usable anymore.
That is the same thing that is happening at the Gospel Aqua Stadium. I don't let us forget that at some point we had two teams from Akwa Ibom, Akwa United and Takada, and both of them were sharing that particular stadium. We also had Super Eagles playing. Any club from Nigeria that is participating at the continent
will also use that particular stadium.
So it's not a new thing. But the thing is that which standard stadium do we have in this country? That's the issue. That's the current situation. Infrastructure-wise, we saw what Morocco did at the last AFCON. A lot of praises were given to them. If the proper things are done right here in Nigeria, I don't think that we should be struggling enough to get stadiums for the national team. I heard that there's plan of building our training complex that's for the Super, but maybe that one in the next 10 years it will happen. But as it stands, we do have a lot of options in terms of getting our national teams to play at different different stadiums. We look at the English national team. They have their training center in St. George's Park, but also where they play. Look at you have a lot of stadiums. The Wembley is always their first choice. You can also choose from the St. James's Park and the rest. But with Nigeria, we are just limited with few options. The MK Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, the Lagos Salami, maybe also the Gospel Akpabio Stadium. Those are the stadiums that you see that, and the Mobolaji Johnson Arena. We have seen the Super Falcons play at those particular stadiums. Maybe those are the few stadiums that can even host any game in the continent.
Well, we are hoping that things will most definitely change when it comes to football on the home front. Quickly, let's take a recap of some of the matches that have gone down in the Nigerian Premier Football League for the match week 23 right there in the NPFL. Of course, there were games between Kano Pillars and Katsina United earlier today. There's also Nasarawa United up against Eyimba. There's a game between Plateau United and Enugu Rangers. And also Abia Warriors and Wiki Thoris. Conclusion of the matches will be tomorrow. Kano Pillars definitely defeated Katsina United 1-0. Nasarawa United played out a 1-0 draw against Eyimba. Plateau United were 2-1 winners over Enugu Rangers. And Abia Warriors also shared the spoils with Wiki Thoris right there. The game between Rivers United and El Kanemi Warriors has been postponed. Don't forget that Rivers United remain our one and only representative in the CAF Champions League for this year. Kano Pillars are winning right there at home against Katsina United. You can say maybe they are finding their mojo back just after everything that has happened to them in the first stanza of the season.
Yes, I think the way they are trying to revive their season is a good one, and them getting another victory at home is one positive thing we have to look at, because looking at the league standing, one thing with the NPFL is if you win a lot of games, like 3 games, you can find yourself up the table. And if you lose games, the same way
you find yourself rock bottom. There are no two ways to it.
And Kano Pillars, with all the whole issues that have, they don't just forget that they deducted 3 points and 3 goals at the early start of this season. And now, what looks like a northern derby between them and Katsina United headed in a 3 points for them. And hopefully, we still have like 15 games to go to the end of season. And let's see whether Kano Pillars will be able to try to avoid the relegation zone.
Hopefully, they are able to avoid relegation this season. Result of some of the other matches in the Nigerian Premier Football League, just like we mentioned, 5 matches went down earlier today. There was also Abia Warriors who played out a 1-0 draw against Wiki Thoris. Wiki Thoris is making sure they reduced Abia Warriors, shout for a continental spot. But right now, they still have that particular advantage because they currently sit third on the log, just 2 points behind Nasarawa United. Nasarawa United also, by the way, were held to a 1-0 draw by visiting Eyimba. Eyimba, we mentioned on Monday, they now have a new head coach, a Cameroonian. By the way, and it's been said that the chairman of the club, Nwankwo Kanu, wants to meet with the state governor because that decision did not come from the chairman of the club to sack the manager while on his way from an away game.
Are you surprised?
Things you see in the MPFL. I mean, this is like a Roman Abramovich kind of thing. You remember this presser? This interview. Where Mikel Obi says, whenever it is that the chairman, bring his helicopter to the training ground, just so that the manager is going. This one, they did not even wait for him to get to Aba before they tell. I think something like that also happened with. Was it
this? That's our first coach, and Postecoglou.
And I think it also happened to a footballer. Is that Luis Suarez? I think before the start of the season, where he said, was it Junior Nagelsmann that called him on phone and said, look here, you are not part of my plans. And then he joined Atletico Madrid and scored. That was the season Atletico Madrid, won the Spanish La Liga that year. But yeah,
Eyimba, now they are in a difficult situation. They are not in the best of form, but they are
currently 12th on the log.
Yeah, their new coach has started because we celebrate just getting a point away from home. And there's no better way to start your season by getting a point against an informed Nasarawa United side. Because Nasarawa United, I think last time they went away from home, defeated Abia Warriors last week. They defeated.
Of their last 5 matches, they've lost 2. Their form has also changed from what they had in the start of the season.
But the thing is now that it stands for the likes of Nasarawa United and Nasarawa Warriors.
Yeah.
Like I said last time on Monday.
Yeah.
They are not taking advantage of the outstanding games
that they have.
I
know you mentioned it.
Rivers United.
Not until they play those games, you don't calculate points for them.
Because now you're supposed to apply pressure on Rivers United. Because if you are getting the wins that you need, now the pressure is on Rivers United to try and win their
Rivers United now have 2 games.
They have 2 games in hand, and Rivers United don't have to win those games in order to actually be scared of losing their top position.
Yeah.
And for Abia Warriors, he lost the last time during the weekend at home. Now a draw against a wicked side is not the best of results for Imama and Makpakabo boys. So we'll see how that will go for. But for Imba, I don't think that they will get this season, because now they have to settle. We have seen since this popular chairman left that won the CAF Championship, his name skips me. He was one of the vice
presidents. Bassi.
No. His name, I remember his name.
Okay.
He was
I think Bassi was for Aqua United.
Paul Bassi is for Aqua United.
Yeah.
Eimba's
chairman. The one before Nwankwo Kanu, right?
Nwankwo Kanu. I'll try to remember his name, because he was with that particular team for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And they have kind of struggled in terms of management. We saw them when this guy Koshiyama left. They brought in Stanley Eguma. Stanley Eguma didn't work. Brought in Dejiani. Dejiani has not used up to take him out.
Felix Ayasi Agu.
Felix Ayasi Agu. I do that. Is pure. He is also pure.
I mean, they had the most successful spell. That was when they won the Continental Crown.
And another thing that we have to take points from this Kanu system. Don't let us forget that Eimba at some point participated at the African Football League, where they got to $1 million for that particular participation.
What did they do with that money?
What did they do with that particular money? You can see that when people say that ex-players should become administrators, it's not smooth as people think
it is.
And that is the current situation we have. I've seen a lot of people say DJ Kosha also struggle with Delta. And we're having the same thing.
So I mean, being a footballer does not really translate into you being a good administrator.
That's just it. So for anybody, you have to look for it.
I think if you want to take a bit of discourse into what we just opened up right now, then it might actually take the whole length of the show, because earlier today there was also this interview between Coach Sunday Olise and also the former chairman of the NFL, that's talking about Amadou Pinnick. I mean, let's not go into that discourse, because a bit of some little things that came out of that conversation that actually put a dent on Nigerian football, I must say. But yeah, we'll find time to review some of the hot topics from that particular session right there. But then the top 3 in the MPFL, Rivers United having 2 games in hand. They currently sit with 41 points on the log, closely followed by Nasarawa United with 39 points. Abia Warriors are third with 37 points, and fourth on the log is Enugu Rangers. Enugu Rangers also, their game today, they had to draw points, being defeated by Plateau United. Right down the rock bottom, you have Kun Khalifat with 19 points, with Kwara United now with 2 games in hand on 24 points. I'm super duper hopeful that my darling team is not going to get relegated, because bro, Kano Pillars are third from bottom with 25 points, and there's Remo Stars, I mean the defending champions, currently sitting 17th on the log with just 1 game in hand.
If they don't watch their back, there's a possibility.
Well, hopefully they win their game tomorrow.
There's a possibility.
That's just the hope that a lot of fans are having in them. And then there's going to be a Southwest derby tomorrow between Ikorodu City and Shooting Stars. 1 game to look forward to, while Remo Stars travel to Ozoro to play against Warri Wolves.
Yes, those are 2 interesting games, like you mentioned. Remo Stars have a lot to play for that particular match. During the weekend, they drew 1-1 against their opponents, and now they have to get. We have seen them struggle this season, unlike last season where they had.
It was a clean sweep for them.
It was a clean
but then, we can always blame the fact that, or should we say, they turned the club into a money-making business. Because they I mean, I'm not blaming them. They actually financed the club for last 3 seasons. It's understandable, and when they won the league. But I do feel, my personal opinion though, I feel like when you're letting players leave, you need to have like backups for them. Fine, they let their goalkeeper leave. Kayode, they let him go.
South Africa.
He went to South Africa.
Tochukwu, this guy.
Nadi also left.
Tochukwu is a midfielder. Their captain.
There's also Sadiq Ismail as well. I mean, almost all of the key players left Remo Stars.
For Remo Stars, like you said.
they still sold one player. Was it last week?
When the league is not profitable, this is what you get, because majority of the clubs are run by government, and the one or two private clubs as a private owner, where when you are investing in a particular thing, your focus is what are you going to get from what am I investing from, and we have seen in over time that the owner of that's talking about Honorable Kunle Shoname has got his returns through the academy, talking about period limit. Now he saw an opportunity of selling majority of his key players that won the league for him, and he has gone with that particular option. Let's not forget that this is not just a Ramos Stars thing. I did a research when Austin Eguavoen said this thing about home-based players, and my thought is that let's just look at the last 3 seasons top goal scorer. All of them have left Nigeria anytime. You could remember this guy that played Nuga, talking about for better insurance, the Unibank player, Imade.
That season, he left Bendel Insurance.
He went to Qatar immediately.
I'm not sure I've heard anything from him since then.
Anayo Iwala with Imba. At some point, he was with the national team. When he got an opportunity of going abroad, he went to Tunisia with experience of Tunis. The last 3 goal scorers, talking about Victor Mbeumo, at some point he left after I think it was half season. Robert Mizo of Bayelsa United also left. Mid-season. We have a lot of players. Chidozie Akuneto also left, and this is not just the thing. When players shine, even goalkeepers, you see our current third choice goalkeeper.
I think the only top scorer that we still have in the league right now is Anas Yusuf.
And I don't know why he hasn't gone. But majority of these players, looking at them, they don't do where they go. And that is the reality. Me, my own belief, and I've heard this thing from a particular program. If you are 21 and you are not getting any shout or any call from the European clubs, that means that you are below average, because the peak of football as it stands is with the European clubs. And if you are going to the likes of Lavia, Cyprus, not Macedonia, so if you can do a trial, because majority of these players don't even get
they don't get the contract. They go for trials.
See Junior Lokosa, he went to I don't know, and now he's back to Italy.
He's the king of Turin.
But that's the reality we are currently, especially with private clubs. I understand them, because now they are trying to make funds. Look at, they went through renovation of their stadium. They spent money. A lot of money, and there's no better way. So I think that the Remo Stars here has enough firepower to see the league through. At least not get relegated.
Alrighty, away from that right now, away from the home front. Don't forget, this is the Sports Talk Show on Empire Radio 102.1 FM, and it's all to remind that I can be a part of the show right here this evening. Let's pay your pause. We've talked about football on the home front. We've talked about age grade football, and we'll also talk about the Nigerian Premier Football League. What do we need to do better? The defending champions are currently sitting 12th on the MPFL, 17th on the MPFL log as we speak. I mean, they are not the only defending champions that are struggling. Even the defending champions of the UEFA Champions League are also struggling. That's going to Paris Saint-Germain. So it does happen like that. There's also Liverpool in the English Premier League that are struggling as well. 0907-224-5018 is the gateway to the studio, and we're streaming live on our Facebook fan page at iMac Radio 102.1 FM, as well as on our YouTube channel at iMac 102.1 FM. Away from football talk show, now let's get out straight to Europe, and we start with us coming through from the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open. We are going into day 11 already, because don't forget the Australia is miles ahead of us when you talk about the time zone. So later this evening, they are going to be into day 11. The big question right now, will anyone deny Sabalenka at the Australian Open?
I don't see anybody stopping her, but we have to give her a lot of credit. She won against a young Ivanovic, and I
was expecting Ivanovic to give her a run for her money, but it was
no space reality here. This lady we are talking about Sabalenka, has gotten to 6 straight Grand Slam semi-final, 4 straight Australia Open semi-final, and you can see how dominant she has been. And nobody can take away the credit.
Well, she has dropped set though. It's not as if she has not dropped set in this ongoing Ocean Open.
But the reality,
I mean, if you want to tell me that you're having an amazing one, you will not drop sets.
People are having but it's not just by having set drop.
Dropping set, yeah.
If you face Sabalenka, you know that you are going to have a run for your money.
Okay.
And that is really certain.
Yeah.
But for Sabalenka, last time she lost against Madison Keys in the last 2025 Australia Open.
Yeah.
Now she's looking to.
I mean, that Madison Keys has also been knocked out.
Yeah, you see. So she's looking to win 3 out of the last 4 Australia Open. And you can see that she has been dominant when it comes to, like I mentioned, she has been number 1 for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Now, like I mentioned, 6 straight semi-final of Grand Slam. Yeah. That means you all 4 Grand Slam last year, she will enter the semi-final. This year she has started at the.
She's playing against Elena Svitolina. Fine, she's having a 5-1 head-to-head.
Yeah.
But don't you think Elena can give her a bit of upset? Because this is the same Elena that just defeated Coco Gauff.
Yes, for Elena Svitolina, she has done amazingly well. I read her story that in 2023 she gave birth to her daughter, talking about Sky, and she has gone through a lot within that period from 2023 to.
I mean, childbirth is, credit to all of the women out there. It's not an easy task, especially when you're an athlete. Yeah. I mean, that's the more reason why Naomi Osaka also had to withdraw from the round round 4 of tournament, talking about her childbirth and some injuries that she sustained during that period. I mean, credit to all of the female athletes out there. It's never easy for them.
It's never easy for them, because even going through your period is a huge stress for them.
Yeah.
But for Svitolina, like I mentioned, 2023 she gave birth to her daughter, and within that period, I think 2024 when she came back, she had an injury and her season ended very early. Last year she took a break due to metal. She said she had needed a metal break for her, and now she has come into this year with a lot of firepower. Her first Australia Open semi-final, and she's undefeated in 2026, 10 matches. 10 straight win, and she hasn't dropped a set, like you mentioned. Aya Sabalenka, and this is her 4th Grand Slam semi-final and 45th top 10 win, and her first Grand Slam since 2023. You can see that she's having a wonderful year. At the end of the day, what matters is if she can get to the final, she has to pass the
I think she's old though. She's 31.
She has to pass. And one thing I love about this particular tournament about Svitolina is partner talking about Gail Monfils has been there with her, supporting her.
He's been
doing her training and even her matches.
I mean, it also tells you that most times when you're in a relationship with someone that you're in the same field, it's actually transition well for most of them. We've seen the same thing with Nick Kyrgios as well.
Yes, and I think that it has played a huge part in her participating, because she had defeated back-to-back top 10.
2 top 10 wins in 4 days.
Coco Gauff and Mira Andreeva. And that just shows that she's on her A game. Does she have enough to go all out for this Grand Slam? We have to look at.
Well, the second semi-final, Elena Rybakina up against Jessica Pegula. I mean, I can talk about Elena having a lot of risk to take, because we know that when it comes to spinning, Jessica has that, and she has been doing that so far in this tournament. That's talking about Jessica Pegula. She won the All-American game between she and Amanda Anisimova just earlier this morning, and she'll be facing another player who is on the run to do a lot for herself. Don't forget, I think they both met in the WTA finals last year, and it was Rybakina who came out on top of that one.
Yeah, starting with Jessica Pegula, like I mentioned, she has defeated 3 Americans in this particular Australia Open.
I mean talking about Namandu, man.
But we are having the discussion regarding her and Madison Keys, who were close friends. Now she faced the 2025 Wimbledon and also US Open finalists in Anisimova, and she was able to surpass that 6-2, 7-6. And at some point in the second set, she was even struggling. She was down, I think, 3-5, but she was able to rally her way back into the mix. And this is her 3rd Grand Slam semi-final against Rybakina, who is reaching her first Australia Open semi-final, 2 in 3 years. 2023, she got to the final, lost against Aryna Sabalenka, and she has won 18 over the last 19 matches, and she hasn't dropped any other sets too. She has won 10 straight sets, 0 set drop, 4 straight, 4.
You make me look like I don't know statistics, but honestly,
because that is this particular semi-final tie is an interesting title to look at.
Yeah, most definitely.
We have
for a very long time, I think this is the most interesting Australian Open semi-final that I'll be seeing both in the WTA and the ATP. Because of that time, talking about the ATP, there's going to be the likes of Alexander Zverev up against Carlos Alcaraz. An amazing matchup to look forward to. Yeah. There's also Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner. Djokovic, by the way, is going to be playing his 54th semi-final in all of the Grand Slams up against the certain Jan. Last season we saw what Jannik Sinner did to him.
Yeah.
Even to the point of the Olympics.
See, Djokovic has gotten a lock to this particular stage. Don't forget that the 4th-round match against Jakub Misic.
Yeah, he has to retire.
Now against Lorenzo Musetti. Lorenzo Musetti was ready to set up.
Yeah.
And the third set, Djokovic was.
He was even winning. Lorenzo was winning 3-1 in the third set.
3-1 in the third set. Yeah. And it's just last year, Jannik Sinner had this right, where I think it was in the quarterfinal, one of his opponents retired, and he ended up winning it. Yeah. Are we going to see the same thing with Djokovic? Is a lot, but against Jannik Sinner, who is having his best form of his life. And like I mentioned, he is looking to do 3 consecutive Grand Slam, Australia Grand Slam win. Yeah. Because now he's looking to equal the record of
Roger Federer.
I'm talking about the guy he's facing, Novak Djokovic.
Okay.
He become the second player to do 3
repeats.
So there's a lot to look out for that match. But the reality is, does Djokovic has the leg? Does he has the leg to go toe to toe against the young guys?
Because let's not lie, Sinner is stronger than him physically.
That is the reality now. And when he was in his prime, he did the same to people who were older than him.
Like Rafael Nadal, Federer.
And that is what we are. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are also doing the same to him. Will he be able to surpass that big test against Jannik Sinner? Is a lot to look for. And I see that match, at least Djokovic should win a set.
Well, by tomorrow morning, we'll be done with that particular match. And on Friday, we'll definitely be having a recap of this amazing matchup that we're currently talking about from the ongoing Australian Open. Just like I mentioned, don't forget that Australia is miles ahead of us when you talk about the time zone. So by this evening, we'll be into the day 11 already. And tomorrow morning on Sports in the Jiffy, we'll be giving you a recap of all of the actions right there. Still Sports Talk Show on Empire Radio 102.1 FM, 0907-224-5018 is the gateway to the studio. Don't forget to be a part of the show. Let's get interactive together on the show. We're streaming live on our Facebook fan page at Empire Radio 102.1 FM, as well as on our YouTube channel at Impact 102.1 FM. Away from other sports right now, let's go into the sizzling and the amazing world of football. Because right about now, it's UEFA Champions League actions happening right there. 18 matches to be played simultaneously this evening, and we are here to serve you all of the amazing stories coming true. You know when you hear the sound, gives you a bit of adrenaline rush. Says so much, cause why not? The UEFA Champions League, the peak of football. There's no two ways about it. After the World Cup, then you want to mention the Champions League. Actions resume later this evening. 18 matches I mentioned played simultaneously. The final match day in the Champions League phase. A lot of leagues right there. Champions League phase. It started last year, and of course we are into the second season already, and it's been serving us a whole lot of surprises with teams not even familiar with whatever it is that is going to happen. Don't forget that in the last match day, it was Bordeaux and Glimt that had to do the spoils against Manchester City right there. And a lot of thoughts from that match. They said maybe it's the code that affected Manchester City players, but they lost 3-1. And later this evening, some amazing matchups to look forward to. Napoli up against Chelsea, while Galatasaray right there in City to play against Manchester City. Don't forget that the last time an English side defeated Galatasaray was in the year 2014, and that has to be Arsenal. Will Manchester City be able to do it? Don't forget that in that squad, there are 2 former Manchester City players, Leroy Sané, and also their former captain, Ike Gundogan, familiar faces who are going to be turning 4 later tonight. There are going to be other matches. I'll be looking to review some of these matches together quickly. I'll also be taking some transfer bits, just as we have on the back pages of the major dailies. Sports Option on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Worried. A couple of interesting matches to look forward to.
Like you already mentioned, Manchester City, Galatasaray. Yeah. 2 former players returning back.
Well, I'm not against Man City winning. Just let Victor Osimhen score.
I was going to that. This is maybe the old debate of Eliala and Victor Osimhen.
Will be put to bed.
Who is better? But I know that a lot of Nigerians will be happy that you are supporting Victor Osimhen. But the reality is that Eliala is miles ahead of Victor Osimhen. And this is the first time in a long while that we are having Manchester City face against a Turkish side. And it has been long. The last time they faced was in the 1960s, 1969. It was an European Cup. And the last, like you mentioned, Galatasaray are beating the last 4 UEFA competition matches against English side. And they have won 3 and drawn 1 in that process. And for Man City, they are coming off a loss against Bodo Glimt in the last match day. And hopefully, they are looking not to get back-to-back defeat at home after they lost against Leverkusen in match day 5, which ended their 23-game unbeaten run in the UEFA Champions League. So there's a lot to look out for today at Etihad, because there's only 2 teams that are guaranteed that they have qualified automatically to the round of 16. That is Bayern Munich and Arsenal. Other teams have a lot to fight for. There are 4 teams that have been knocked out of this particular. We have to go to the likes of Kaya, Mate, Pafos, and the rest. But there's a lot to play for this particular match day, because if you don't get an automatic qualification, you have to go through the playoffs
from 9 to 24.
Yes, that is the likes of Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and also Napoli, Chelsea, which is looking like the biggest game this night. The last time both teams faced, you have to go back to the 2011-2012 season, where we had a comeback by Chelsea after they lost the first leg 3-1, and they went all the way to that particular match and came back into extra time, and that particular season they were able to win the UEFA Champions League. Are we going to see the same? Like I said, 2 teams coming into this match with 2 contrasting form. One team won during the weekend, and while the other team, talking about Napoli, lost during the weekend. The talks, the press conference of Antonio Conte, he had the issue of, he was asked about the.
He said his player played their best game.
It was where I'm going was the Diego Costa comment that he made, that Costa made in
the Obi-Wan
podcast, and he said that he doesn't read or listen to papers. They are both the intelligent, the stupid ones, and the rest. and you know that Conte is just like Ibuyu. He gives us
the proper content during the press conference.
So he's going to be at the Chelsea encounter, because Napoli lost. I think the last time they lost against PSV or so. And now
was it? I think they drew. Napoli played a 1-0 draw, if I'm not mistaken.
In the Champions League. I'm talking about the Champions League.
Okay, they lost.
They lost against their opponents, and you see, Antonio Conte's record at the UEFA competitions still continues. He struggles a lot, and we have seen.
Napoli played at a 1-0 draw against Copenhagen.
Against Copenhagen, and it's a more of a dropping point for them. They have to win this game in order if they stand the chance of qualifying for the automatic playoff spot of this particular year's competition.
Some amazing matchups to look forward to. Like I mentioned, there's also going to be Barca up against Copenhagen right there, where we'll also be having Benfica hosting Real Madrid. Real Madrid definitely will be looking to also consolidate on the number of points they are, because right now they are sitting 3rd, and you can say that they've sailed to safety already. Borussia Dortmund up against Inter Milan right there at the Signal Iduna Park, and all the matches you talk about Club Brugge hosting Olympique Marseille. Eintracht Frankfurt up against Tottenham Hotspur. Liverpool are not having the best of form in the league, but then most definitely they are doing so well for themselves in the UEFA Champions League, and they will be hosting Karabakh later this evening. They currently sit 4th on the UEFA Champions League table. Arne Slot.
There's a lot of pressure on his slot, and he said something that the reason why they won the league maybe it's because of they got knocked out early by PSG. Now they
want to get knocked out early this time around.
Well, they can't be the league, because now the only thing that they have to play for, they are out of the Carabao Cup. Okay, there's the FA Cup in there. Maybe the UEFA Champions League is also in the mix for Liverpool. So I expect that Liverpool will be able to do the needful. And Liverpool had won 16 straight UEFA competition group stage / league phase matches at Anfield before their match the 5 loss to PSV in their most recent Champions League home fixture. The rest have won 17 of their last 20 Champions League phase / group stage games. They have lost 3, and Dominic Szoboszlai has found the net in 4 of Liverpool's last 5 Champions League matches, including the most recent 3 that he has scored. And talking about Karabakh, I will say they are previous 8 UEFA competition meetings against English opposition, they have drawn 1 and lost 7, and have been beaten in all 4 of their visits to England. The Azerbaijani outfit have scored 2 or more goals in 8 of their last 10 UEFA competition games.
Wow. I mean, another big game to look forward to is Paris Saint-Germain up against Newcastle United this evening. Paris Saint-Germain, like I mentioned, looks like their season has not been up top notch this year, and the Luis Enrique side definitely are not having the best of form, both in the league and even in the UEFA Champions League. Defending champions who are currently 6th, you can say that they have to make sure that they win their game against Newcastle United, who are 7th on the log, because other teams are just on their back.
Look at PSG. Don't let us forget that this is how they did last season.
I mean, yes, they also got knocked out.
and they went through that route at the end of the day to win. So this is their meeting against Newcastle. The last time these 2 teams was the last group stage UEFA Champions League 2023-2024 season, where Newcastle won at home by 4-1 and drew 1-1. And Paris Saint-Germain has won 5 of their last 7 UEFA competition matches against English opposition. They have drawn 1 and lost 1 in that position, and have beaten their last 4, winning 3 and drawn 1. So it's going to be an interesting encounter between both sides at the Parc des Princes, and hopefully Newcastle, who have done well this particular season, and we have seen them with the likes of Aaron Gordon and Avi Barnes. Gordon has been their top goal scorer. And
during the press, Aaron Gordon was being quizzed by an insurance journalist that was talking about Omar about the level of football at the Champions League and also the English Premier League. And honestly, I feel like his confession was nothing but on point.
It's facts.
I mean,
that's the reality
in the Champions League, you are allowed to play football freely.
And if you are looking at the rules for the UEFA Champions League and also the league, like the whole issue that Mark Clattenburg, the referee, was saying that the PGML has to look at the corner issues.
And the throw-ins too.
The throw-ins, because teams are not getting rough when it comes to those particular states.
See that go by Mikel Merino for Arsenal.
Arsenal have been a huge benefit of that rule. But when it comes to the UEFA competition, there's a kind of different pace because it's more fast pace and teams want to play.
Everybody wants to play
their own game. Unlike the Premier League where teams are looking for every miss. If it is set piece, if it is throwing, if it is corner kick FC Stoke City, Arsenal, they know themselves. And that's the reason why they are top. And you see that they don't get away with majority of what they get away in the Premier League when it comes to the UEFA competitions. And Gordon pointed that out when he was asked that particular question, and that is the reality as it stands for both competitions. All
right, some big games to look forward to. Most definitely, we've highlighted that for you on the show this evening. I'll always tell you to put your money where your mouth is. This is still the Sports Talk Show on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Quickly going straight into transfer beats, just as they have it on the back pages of the major dailies. A couple of players looking to move side and side, left, right, and center. Top of the story is that Raheem Sterling, the former Arsenal and also Manchester City player, has now mutually terminated his contract with Chelsea, which means that he is now a free agent. Raheem Sterling, one player that you can say over the last couple of years so far has had an amazing, or should I say a stellar career for himself right there, but as it is right now, he is without a club.
Yeah, I think Sterling has won everything needed to be won when it comes to club football. Was he part of that Champions League squad? I doubt. That's
for Manchester City?
Yeah, 2023.
He has a Champions League medal.
Champions League medal. Yeah. So that's congratulations to him. But he has also collected 350,000 for the past 1.5 years without doing anything. He went on loan to Arsenal. It didn't work out for him. He came back this season. And during the summer, a lot of people expected him to leave, but he still stayed with this Chelsea squad. And when the coach Enzo Maresca came in, he said that he was not in his plan. And also the new coach,
they tried to ship him out, but no club was coming.
No club was coming out for him. And Liam Rosenio, as he is pronounced, that's what he said.
Rosenio.
So he doesn't also have him included in his plan. So Raheem Sterling has to go another journey.
He doesn't have a Champions League medal. He has 5 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup.
It was that season that he left for Chelsea. So for Raheem Sterling, maybe even the Saudis are even coming for him, and maybe we can be looking at the championship because this guy has made all the old money that he has made in football.
I mean, he has an amazing credential.
He has
whether you like it or not.
I know that a lot of people would say that he's not maybe a world-class player,
but he's played Arsenal, played Chelsea, played Manchester City,
and
top clubs in the English. Yeah,
and you have to look at that. That counts for something.
Yeah.
No matter how bad the
player is.
He made call-ups for the English national team.
Yeah.
Playing for 4 of the big clubs in England. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. Is not fluke. So I think Sterling has paid his dues when it comes to English football.
All right, a couple of other stories making the rounds. It's been said that Aston Villa will be without their midfielder Yuri Tielemans, who is now be ruled out for up to 10 weeks. Same thing with Manchester United, because it's been said that Patrick Dogu might as well be out on the sidelines for a long time.
I don't know what happened to Patrick Dogu, because I was one of Patrick Dogu's biggest critic, because there are times that you will watch him and you ask, is this guy a professional footballer?
Why did United sign him?
Yes, but from the month
just
of
when
December to January, he has been one of the best players in the team, and we have seen his improvement and also his impact in that United squad. And when he's having his best form of his life, he has got
injury came in,
and he's going to be out for a long period of time. According to reports, 10 weeks. That's, you are looking close to 3 months. And maybe till
the end of the season. That's if the team by chance gets to the final of the okay.
Just the Premier League. Okay. And we'll see how that will go. Hopefully he returns with this kind of form. But we know how injury is.
Yeah,
even a player goes before the player can get to that level, it was.
Well, we have some of them would do hit the ground running just after coming back from injuries.
That's the kind of good players you have to categorize. But players like Patrick Dogu, I find it hard that you get to that level. But with Michael Carrick and hopefully this momentum that United have, because if United are winning games, a lot of this belief comes into the team that they have this mentality that they can go against any other team. And for the other guy who has injury, talking about
Yuri Tielemans,
he has been the main man in that midfield of Aston Villa. And Aston Villa.
So Unai Emery will definitely be having a bit of headache as we speak.
I think McGinn is also out for a short period of time, and also we have the likes of Amadou Onana, and also those are the people. And for Aston Villa, I think they have made their reinforcement of for Tammy Abraham coming to the team. So we see how that
£11 million,
because we have seen Unai Emery downplay his squad depth when it comes to. He said that they are not even good enough to qualify for UEFA competitions, and if you are having one of your key man out, then there's a lot of question mark on that Aston Villa team. Did they have enough firepower to go to the end of season? If you are unable to challenge for the title, at least get a Champions League ticket, which will be a good season for them.
And of course, they've been doing that so well when it comes to the European scene as well. We also have the story coming through that Fulham have now agreed a £27 million deal with Manchester City to sign Oscar Bob from Manchester City right there. There's also stories that West Ham have now agreed a £35.5 million sale of Paqueta back to Flamengo right there. The 41 million euros was what I was sold for, and West Ham, however, have now acquired the service of Adama Traore. I don't know about that.
No, it's one he came out to say that he used to apply this thing, but it doesn't gym. I don't know if someone would be that physically and say it doesn't gym, but for Adama Traore, it wasn't working with Marco Silva at Fulham, and now he has gone back to someone who coached him at Wolverhampton. That's talking about Nuno Espirito Santo, and the form that West Ham are in, they have won back-to-back game in the Premier League, and it will be a massive addition to that attacking force of West Ham. We have that edge to go into towards the second stanza of the league, we'll see, because now they are in a struggling position. Nottingham Forest is above them with, I think, 4 points or so. They have to go to the end of the season if they are to avoid relegation.
Most definitely, they have to do everything possible get to the end of the season if they are ever going to avoid relegation. Away from that story, and I will still got some more transfer bits. We already mentioned to you that Raheem Sterling most definitely is now on his way out of Chelsea. One game that I definitely, I think I'm more interested in is the game between Benfica as well. Because it's been said that Mourinho have not lost in the last 15 matches. He has been coaching Benfica.
Yeah, I saw that record. And this time around, he's playing against his former team.
Real Madrid.
He was at the
it just clicked in my head now that
he was at the dugout with Real Madrid, I think 2010 to 2013, where he won the Copa del Rey and also the Spanish La Liga. And this time around, he's going to be going against one of his players at that time, talking about Arbeloa. Arbeloa did a good start, but the last 3 matches or so, he has won back-to-back games against Levante and against Villarreal, and also Monaco, yes. So he has won 3 games in a row. Is he going to do the fourth? We'll see how that will go, because Benfica are currently at home, and Benfica record against Spanish side is not the best of record.
I mean, even if they win this game, well, if they win, they will be up into the playoff spot. But as it is right now, they might just be saying BYEs to the Champions League.
But with Moyo, you don't know what to expect. Moyo, he has done this.
Been there, done that.
And the teams that he has won the Champions League teams are teams that a lot of people never retain.
Starting with
and also Porto. Now he's back to his home coach talking about Benfica. Will he be able to do that huge task tonight against one of the favorite teams in the UEFA Champions League?
The most successful club in the Champions League history.
Even though there are in-house issues. But you still have to give that credit that Real Madrid the favourites going into this game against Benfica.
All right, we'll definitely look forward to see what the outcome of the games will be like by the end of the games for today. Finally, on transfer, it's been said that the Saudi Pro League is now laying the groundwork for the move for Paris Saint-Germain star Ousmane Dembele, and also the likes of Omar Mamouche, who will also might be looking to move away from Manchester City. That's a very early one, if you ask me.
If those Saudi, they are in that fees that now they also bring a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I kind of believe that we'll get to the state that this will have to stop. You remember when China were hot? They were the hot boys that particular period. They were signing a lot of European players.
Yeah.
I could remember Oscar.
I mean, some of these players are also moving back to Europe already.
Yeah. And that is the kind of situation we are. There's money in Saudi, all money.
I mean, Raul Jimenez. He's back to the English Premier League. There's also Ruben Neves as well. Is looking to leave Al Ahly and come back to Europe.
We also have Cancelo moving to Barcelona. He went to Al Hilal. And I think that for the rest of Ousmane Dembele, he has won the Champions League. He has won everything.
Let him go get some money.
So let him go get some money. And he has also won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, okay.
That's
the height of it.
So for Ousmane Dembele, it's his choice. If he wants to continue at the top level, he can stay in Europe. Or if he sees it from the monetary aspect, straight to the Middle East.
Okay.
Get your money.
Go get your bag in the Middle East. Sports Up Show right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Here's what you call it, wrap on the package for today. It's been amazing. 50 minutes preaching the gospel sport to you. Thank you for allowing us rock your world. But before I say my final BY is you got some last shots for us on the show?
Yes, I got to. Let me just touch light on the matches that went on in the NBA. We had Detroit Pistons winning against the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
109 to 107, and it was an interesting encounter for the Blazers. Tobias Harris had 22 points. Kid Cunningham had 22 points, 11 assists, and this is their night win in 11 matches. Their last 11 matches about the Detroit Pistons, and they are currently seated top of the Eastern Conference, just 5.5 games ahead of the second place. I'm talking about Boston Celtics, and it was not the best of nights because the Denver Nuggets tried to rally their way back into the mix, and that is it. Jamal Murray was the highest pointer for them. He had 24 points and 10 assists, even though he missed 2 free throws in the final minutes of the game. And we talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let us forget that I saw a news before coming to the studio that the Milwaukee Bucks are now deciding and thinking about to make that trade because he has a calf injury.
So it's going to the Dallas Mavericks.
And we're having a discussion that they are struggling without him. I saw the record that the last 15 matches without Giannis, they have won 3 and lost 12. Is it going to be a big decision? Well, also you can see it as
I feel the angle at which Giannis is coming from. He feels like he's playing for the team and the rest of the players are trying to play individual game.
And even the fans are even pulling him because I watched a game recently, the last time he was involved with the Milwaukee Bucks. But the thing, like I'm trying to mention is that this thing can go 2 ways for the Milwaukee Bucks. If they don't perform well and get into the playoff season. Because the way the draft is done is that the 5 worst team in the regular season will have a chance to get the top picks when it comes to the draft. Well, that's what Dallas Mavericks did last year, where they got the first pick for them this last year. And at the end of the day,
I think they will be having a lottery pick.
It will be a lottery pick, but they can start a chance. That's why I said they can start a chance. It's more of looking at the future. In the short term, it might not be the best of team for them because they will not get into competition for the best. But if you are looking at it in the long run, when this top picks kind of develop. We saw it with the 76ers with Edgecombe when he was drafted into 76ers, and we are seeing that he's paying off with them. For the likes of Paul George, we have Joel Embiid, and also this guy, one of their key players, Maxi Tyree. And he's working for them. So for Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think we have gotten to the point that both parties will have to go separate.
But you know the most interesting part is the bogus amount of money that this guy gets to sign for. If anyone going to sign him now, will be signing him for around $275 million,
and that is
has to be a 4-year contract.
And that is one thing about the reason why basketball is very lucrative, and these people are business oriented. And if you're looking at all the sports in America, all of them are massive money investment. Because we see
is it the NFL?
NFL. I found out something that if we are to do an advert for the Super Bowl, there's a certain amount of money just for 20 seconds or so. You are paying millions of dollars.
Yeah, sure.
Because
the whole world is watching.
I kind of have this belief that when we Nigeria get to that level.
Okay. It's still the Sports Talk Show on Hyper Radio 102.1 FM, and we're wrapping up the show for today. A couple of games will be played later in the midnight. That will be early tomorrow morning with the Los Angeles Lakers up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Chicago Bulls will be up against the Indiana Pacers. Atlanta Hawks up against Boston Celtics. Orlando Magic will be up against Miami Heat. The New York will be up against Toronto Raptors. Minnesota Timberwolves is up against Dallas Mavericks. Golden State Warriors will be up against Utah Jazz, and San Antonio Spurs will be up against Houston Rockets. Making sure that they are leaving a mark on this season in the NBA.
Yes, they are leaving a mark. Last season,
28 to 15.
28 to 15, and I think they are in the top 3 or top 4 of the Western Conference. So we have to see how that will. That was talking about Ume Udoka.
Yeah.
He did it with Boston Celtics.
And he's now doing with Houston Rockets. And thank God for Victor Wembanyama in his life.
Victor Wembanyama.
That guy has been amazing.
Victor Wembanyama is in San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, sorry, San Antonio.
This guy, KD.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, Kevin Durant.
And he has been a massive addition to that particular squad. They allowed the likes of Dillon Brooks and also Jalen Green to go. Yeah. But other players have been able to talk about him, Thompson and the rest. And they are doing well. What matters, get your playoff spots automatic, and when we get to the playoff, because last time in the playoff their inexperience against Golden State Warriors cost them, and this time around they have added a lot of reinforcement in terms of experience wise.
Yeah, I think they have this guy that wears 28, Sengun.
Amir Sengun, that's Turkish guy, and he did well last season. But when you had someone like Kevin Durant, now you're having someone who has done it, who has won it with Golden State Warriors coming into this team. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting
season. We're short past our time of the show already, just so you know when you're talking sports, you don't know when you run out of time. Sports Option Hyper Radio 102.1 FM. Here's a call to wrap on the package for today. Sports Up returns on Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. And the last edition for this month of January will be on Saturday, 2 p.m. down to 3 p.m. I'll be here to review all of the matches that we played right there in the English Premier League, as well as the top 5 European leagues. Friday edition, we do just football on the show. You'd like to be a part of that. Your early morning sports from 10 a.m. down to the flip side of 10, sports in the Jiffy, right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. On behalf of Warit, I am Ayodeji Ajiboye, and I'm saying stay sporty, stay active, drink enough water to stay hydrated, go out there, be the best version of yourself, and don't forget